Morning, welcome back. Happy end of financial year. 1st of July today. It's about 7 o'clock here. Another reasonable frost. We have had a few crackers the last week, I suppose. Have had a bit of camera trouble again. I was doing a bit of editing this morning and threw one in the bin because it was the start of each I suppose caption or little short video was missing, which sort of didn't really help things. So anyway, so we're going to mark the last mob of ewes and lambs this morning. I'll get a few lights turned on here and get them drafted up. Tony's back on deck. So yesterday, we're Tuesday today, so yesterday we've weaned the last mob of lambs, so the last mob of the early lambs anyway, so I did that Sunday and got them drenched and let them out yesterday, and we've got a few here that have got back in the yards for whatever reason. So they've all seemed to settle down pretty well. Got the spreading finished out the other farm yesterday afternoon. So that's one job out of the road. And that was the video that I actually deleted. I've been mucking around with the tractor and bucket last week. So we've had, and that was the other part of that video, we've had good rain. So we've had just shy of 30 mil here at home and just shy of 40 mil at the other farm. So the season's sort of been turned on its head a little bit. Or a fair bit, so we've sort of got a bit of direction now what's going on. Obviously rain doesn't grow feed overnight, especially when we're getting the frost the way we are. So we're still a bit light on for sheep feed, and that's why we've weaned the lambs early, just to concentrate on getting them fat, and the lambs weren't getting a lot of milk off the ewes anyway. So so we'll get them hopefully over to Woodlands tomorrow. They're just out the front here, in front of our house, on some of the oats that we sowed, but they'll have that eaten out the next day too. So I'd just like to let them all settle down a little bit, because they're going to be 1,200 in the mob, and they will be a bit flighty to shift. So anyway, we'll get that sorted. So we'll get these marked today. We're going to shift a bit of corn around. We've got corn going at the end of the week. A contract that we've got in Melbourne, so we'll start and shift a bit around. Tony got the bag out loader again yesterday afternoon. Getting back to the bucket, I've pulled the hub off. We had a wheel bearing that was getting hot when we brought the machine home, so I've pulled that hub off and got some new bearings. The bearings actually looked alright, and the grease in that looked alright too, but it didn't, whether there wasn't enough grease packed around the bearing, just the way the grease was nice and clean. And that machine was refurbished a couple hundred hours ago, so it hasn't done a lot of work, and you could tell that by the grease, but it just hadn't, to my way of thinking, the hub hadn't been packed with grease properly, and hence why the bearing was getting a bit hot. So so I just thought the bearing would probably be alright to repack it and put it back in, but I just thought we'll change the bearings and it'll be right. So we're slowly ticking jobs off the list with that to get it operational, but hopefully it keeps raining and it sits there till late spring. If we're using it in the middle of the winter, it generally means we haven't had a lot of rain. So anyway, we'll get a muzzle on a dog here because he likes to bite, and then we'll get these ewes and lambs drafted up. Alright, lambs are all marked. We marked about just shy of 300 off 400 ewes, or not quite 400 ewes. What we did, and I should have probably showed you, but I didn't give it a thought. We ran the ewes just through the draft. I got Tony to draft them, and we just took out the ones that didn't have an udder, effectively. So, which means they haven't had a lamb. So we took 114 off, and you could actually tell by their condition that they haven't been feeding a lamb. They're as fat as mud, some of them. So there's no point supplementary feeding them when they're, they're not eating for two or three, eating for two or eating for three if they've got twins. So I've just boxed them with the other ewes that we weaned, the ewes that we weaned the lambs off the other day. And what we'll do is, I think the next couple of days, I'm just going to box all those now effectively dry ewes that don't have lambs on them together, and we'll take them out of the farm, out of the road, because there is a bit more feed out there, and it'll just allow things to grow a little bit here. And then we can just concentrate on the lambs. So Tony's just gone over. He's just going to make up the ring lock gaps over at Woodlands for where we're going to move the lambs to. I'm just going to, the first block doesn't have water in it, so I'm going to take the trailer and big tank over, and we'll set it up with a trough so they've got water in the first block. I pulled this to bits on not the last video, but the one before, and I don't know what was going on in the video with as I mentioned earlier, it was cutting the starter off, so you couldn't actually understand what I was talking about. So what I did the other day was I pulled this hub off, and I've got the bearings and that there for it. So what I'll do shortly is I might try and put that back together and get this back on so we can get it back on its wheels. We've just got that trestle under there because the rippers were creeping down. I sort of had to get them up out of the road to get at it. What else am I doing? Just giving the big tractor a wash, so it's had a half decent wash, and wash the spreader out. So I'm going to take the spreader off now, and I'll put the little green trailer on, what we call the little green trailer, and behind this, and just I'll fill it up with water. While it's filling with water, I'll muck around with that hub and give it a clean up. I just need to wash it out with some petrol, and then get the new bearings in there and get it back together. So bit going on, but we're getting there. Bit of grease out of it. So anyway, we'll let it a bit of petrol evaporate, and then we might knock the new rings in. Alright, so we've got a new seal, so it's a triple lip seal, and then it's got this little retaining ring that goes, I'll show you in a minute when I hopefully get it back together. That goes into the hub, and then the seal goes into it. As far as bearings, Timken bearings, which is, they used to be the best bearing. I assume they're still pretty good. So this is the inner one. She's a big sucker, like just cup and cone bearing. A couple $100 for that. So I imagine the inner one would be, the outer one, it'll be somewhere similar, I would have thought. And then what's the seal? I've got the sort of $110, $15 for the seal and the retaining ring, so not too bad. So what I'll do is I'm going to knock the two outer cones in, and then we'll just see how we're going for time, whether we pack the bearings. I did buy a bucket of grease, because rather than trying to use grease cartridges out of the grease gun. Anyway, we'll get these knocked in and we'll see how we go. Getting them back in, that might be a bit of a challenge too. What would be really good would be a brass punch. wrench here. It's not a brass one, but grease on it from knocking the other one out. Ideally, if you had the right gear, you'd press this in, but I don't have the right gear. So we've just, where there's a step here where that retaining ring goes into, and we've still got, I can stick my fingers down to the where that ring's got to go to, so I'll just have to go steady. Well, I'm going pretty steady as it is, but yeah, I'm going to lose a bit of my width where the punch is sitting now. So yeah, I might come back to yours in a minute, because it's going to be a little bit painstaking, I'd say. So I've knocked that retaining ring in as well. I'm going to call it a retaining ring, it's probably not, but anyway. And then I'll take this over and the seal over now, and I'll just put it on the axle straight away, and then yeah, when we come to put the hub together, it's it's ready to go. So yeah, I'm just waiting for this. I've got the tank on the trailer here, I'm just waiting for it to fill up, and then I'll run it over to the other farm where Tony is, where those lambs are going to go. So a 5,000 litre tank that we've had it for a while, but just got it on that trailer, and yeah, so when we use, about the only time we use it now is when in this situation where we're, got a paddock with no stock water in it. We could just take it over and set a trough up on the ground so they've got somewhere to drink, and it works well. So yeah, we'll get this seal on and then see how we go, and we might look at packing some bearings and getting this hub back on. Alright, we've got that big girl. Can get me hand through it. So what I've got is, doing this with greasy hands isn't all that easy either. So I've just gone and bought a, 2.5 litre thing of grease. I don't know what the best way to do it is. I'm just going to stick it in there for a minute. And then I'll just manually rub the grease and that through it. And then I'll use what I got there. I'll do the other one as well. And then I'll do what I got there to actually fill the hub full of grease. So we may have to use a couple of grease cartridges as well just to get it proper full, but we'll see how we go. Hopefully we've got enough there, and might as well get it all back together now while we're mucking around with it, and it's done then. So all I'm trying to do is push the grease between the inner ring and the outer. I do actually, for the little bearings, when we were mucking around with the press wheel bearings, we actually bought a proper packer, and it sort of just forces the grease in there. Close, I reckon. Yeah, that'll do. It's not the cleanest job in the world, but anyway. We'll get the rest of this in the hub, and then yeah, get it back on. Alright, so I've got that seal on. So I've got the seal on. I've got the bearing on there. Which is up here. I've just got to tap that on. Alright. I'll just show you before I put this in. So yeah, so it's probably got twice as much grease in as what it had. Worst thing is with doing this, everything gets covered in grease. So yeah. Hopefully now that'll be should work alright, hopefully. Alright, so I just need to get it to go on a bit more. I don't actually have any thread there to start the nut, so I'll have a bit of a play here and I'll come back here. So actually went from one to the other. I actually had too much grease in it, so I couldn't get the bearing, wouldn't go on, so I'll tighten that up now. I thought I might have had a shifter big enough to go on that nut, but I don't, so I'll just have to tap away with the chisel. Where are you? You there? You can see? All good? And she'll out if you can't. So sort of firmed up about there, so might be just the case of that might do, and then we can yeah, run it for a bit and we can just check it's going all right. It's going to be a bit hard, you can't sort of jack it up and wobble it, but you can see there the seals seated in there pretty well, so yeah. But yeah, I think we might get a halfer out of the slotted nut. I reckon the hole's straight up and down, so I'll get a little screwdriver and clean some of the grease out of the way and find the hole, and I've got a new split pin there to go on it. Alright, back on. I just chucked a bit of sealant around the cap. Yeah, so as I said, we'll give it a run for a while and just see if it needs nipping up or something in time. Yeah, but fingers crossed it should be right, but it's got plenty of grease in it now anyway, so yeah, had too much. Anyway, that's alright. Yeah, anyway, it's nearly knock-off time here. I'm just going to fly into town, and we've got a bit of spraying to do, so we just need a few O-rings and a new spray bucket for the boom spray. So I'll go and grab that before 5 o'clock, and then we'll be right for tomorrow then. Morning! Lovely day, apart from the howling wind again. Anyway, it is what it is. Just heading over in the big tractor. I've got the trailer and water tank on board and a trough, so just heading over to set it up, trough up for the lambs. Tony's still got a bit to do over here. He's a couple of hours and he'll sort of have things done, so yeah, I'll get this set up and then come back, and then I might start moving the lambs around and getting them over there as well. So I'll just see how we're going for time and how the day goes. We're going to walk them up a ewes out the other farm as well, so I'm just thinking we might just spend the day mucking around with doing sheep, and just get it all tidied up out of the roads. So yeah, they are talking a bit of rain again early next week, which would be nice. But yeah, things are ticking along pretty well at the moment. Grazing wheat's slowly getting there. Yeah, anyway, get over here and get this set up and make sure that I've got a spare float here with me on the floor, just in case the float in the trough. We used to have a lot of plastic poly troughs, and just over time they've cracked and they get out of shape and yeah, don't end up leaking and that. So we're slowly sort of swapping the plastic ones over to concrete. So I've resurrected one here, and I'm just hoping it's going to be alright when I set it up. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Apologies for the wind. Yeah, that's how we just generally set it up, and then they can come and go as they want. I'm not actually sure what how much they drink this time of year. You'll find there's a fair bit of moisture in the grass, so I don't drink too much at all, but they'll be about 1200 over here, so yeah, it's just a place to have it. And then once we let them out into the big area, the recycle dam's got water in it, so they'll be able to get water from there. There is Commission Channel does run along the northern boundary here, but it's in the off season it doesn't have a heap of water in it. So anyway, but no, I might duck home and then can come back and check this anyhow. The float seems to work okay when you put it up. So righto, I've just been mucking around putting chaser bin on the tractor. Guys from Elders rang to say, hey puss. Guys from Elders rang to say they're going to drop some chemical out to spray the canola, so I've just been waiting for them to come, which they've been. Going to have a crack at shifting these lambs. It's really windy, so what I might do is, if I get some footage, I might just chuck some music over the top of it, because you won't be able to hear bugger all for the wind. Yeah, so fingers crossed they're well behaved. All done, so I'll be happy enough in here for a couple of weeks probably, I'd say. So there's a fair bit of feed there, and they're only little fellas, so but yeah, they'll find the trough and be nice and happy. They sort of put their noses down. They did run pretty hard for a bit, so they'll be a bit knocked up. Yeah, it'll be a good little spot for them for a while. come to life. So yeah, it's starting to look good actually. So get a bit of chemical on this probably next week, weather permitting, just to clean up the grass weeds and the broadleaf weeds. So, but yeah, it is actually starting to look quite good, which is nice. So yeah, just see what the weather does. As I keep talking, we'll see what the weather does, and we'll just see how much we feed it. It does have, one half of these blocks being old pasture, it does have pretty good nitrogen levels, so we may not have to push it too hard. But yeah, still a fair way away. Like, we shouldn't be far off throwing a flower up this time of year, but we still haven't got full ground cover yet. So yeah, but we're definitely in the game anyway. Righto, end of the video, end of the day. It's been a bit of a crappy afternoon just with the wind, and terrible for videoing content. So we've got the bag hooked up to one of the bags, so we're going to shift a bit of corn around tomorrow. I don't know how we'll go getting videos of it. We've got 150 tonne going next week. So we're just going to fill the mother bin, and we've got a silo there we might fill up, and then we've got to take the bagger back. So the guys are wanting it back again. So that's, yeah, we just had that little short bag there that we'll empty it out of the road, and then we'll get into the big bag and open it up and see what it's like. So I did have a bit of wet stuff in the end of that bag, but the end of that bag hadn't really been closed up properly, so I just shoveled it out into the loader bucket. But the bloody wind's been horrendous today, so yeah. So I'll just say in the morning we're gonna shift all the ewes, dry ewes, and the ewes that have had the lambs weaned off them out to the other farm. So yeah, look, if the wind's okay in the morning, I'll grab the camera again, and then yeah, we'll just yeah, see how it pans out. But it'll be all weather pending. So. Yeah, all right. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, keep subscribing and liking and commenting, and I'll get to your comments when I get a chance. But yeah, thanks again. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.